Are you ready to take your organization to the next level and become a game changer in your industry? Then look no further. Welcome to Yokai Business Show, where we bring you the world's top business thought leaders to share their secrets to success, from leadership development to finance, marketing, self-development, human resource management, and much, much more. Our guests reveal the strategies, tactics, and mindsets that have made them so successful. So let's dive in and learn from the best in the business. Hello and welcome back to the greatest show on the planet Earth. Now, somebody says, don't blow your own trumpet, but hey, I believe it. And I think we are doing a great job in helping people right where they are with their lives and also with their business. So I'm glad you've tuned in today because I've got a great friend all the way from California to share about her lifestyle, how she has started a business right, let me put it this way. During the peak of the pandemic, Sarah decided to go all in creating a business that's not only helping her community, but has expanded to helping people across the pond. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Incredible. Now, if you want to know how other people are creating something from what seems to be purely nothing, something that is actually changing people's lives, you're in the right place, because Sarah, not too long ago, decided was going to go all in and start a business which has grown to help a lot of people. And I truly believe what she is doing is making our world a better place. So if you want to know how others have done it, and maybe you want to do it yourself, you are in the right place. Sarah, you know what? I was in Pasadena not too long ago and loved your backyard, so to speak.
It's beautiful here.
Yeah, it is absolutely gorgeous over there. Sarah, for those who are yet to find your work and who you are, would you just give us a very brief synopsis of who you are and how you got started in your business?
Yeah, I'd love to. So my name is Sarah, and I have a business called Journey Through Tarot. I am an intuitive tarot reader, not to be confused with a fortune teller. What I do is more spiritual guidance, clarity, insight. And when I got started, well, let me back up a little bit. I've been reading tarot cards, which means pulling cards from the 78 card deck and reading the messages that come through. I've been doing that for the last 18 years, just for close friends and family. It was more of a guidance, spiritual practice for myself, nothing I was branching out with. And then in 2020, like many of us, I really started to ask myself what I was doing with my life. And I really did want to make a difference. And I wanted to have, especially the more I plugged into my own spiritual beliefs of why we're here and why I'm here and how we're all interconnected, I really wanted to find a way to help others and do it in an authentic way as well. That it just really lit up my soul. And when I started asking myself throughout my meditations and different modalities I was working with, what is my purpose? Tarot kept coming to my mind. And even though I knew it so well, I was very scared to do anything with it. So I kept telling that voice no and moving on until I was in a situation where I feel like the universe basically said it's time. And my income went away. I was very scared. And throughout my spirituality, I was really learning this idea that everything happens for a reason. And that's when I heard this calm. And I will say that that's when you know it's your intuition. It's just this calm voice that'll come in, say something, and go away. It doesn't loop. It doesn't ruminate like our ego can do. And it was just this calm voice that said, go work on your business. Mm-hmm. And I knew right then it was going to be okay. Grabbed a pen and paper, and that's basically where I started.
Amazing. You know, one of the things that you touched on there, Sarah, is you were asking questions. And from experience, there is no answer without question. The moment that humanity stop asking questions to, why are things going the way they are, there won't be any solution. And in business as well, when you are running your own business, this is what I've discovered is if you're not asking, is there any way of doing this better? How can I improve? How can I serve my customers better? How can I help my team to function better? The moment you stop doing that, the business is either stagnant or you can actually lose that. So I'm glad that you touched on that. And also, it is about individuals. If you stop asking questions about where you are at, how are you doing, or getting a coach to help you ask those important questions, you won't grow. And I'm glad that you were asking questions because it led you to where you are today. During the asking period, Sarah, would you share with our audience what were some of the difficulties that you were facing at the time, in getting yourself to get to a place where you were clear to your next step?
And yes, absolutely. And I love what you just said too about asking questions. I like to call myself the forever student. And I think that that's how we all should be.
That's right.
Because no one will ever know it all. We will always be learning and growing. And I've always had that within me, but I will say with my business, that was very helpful. But yeah, some of the difficulties, I mean, first of all, when most people think of tarot readings, they think of Hollywood and a crystal ball, and they just have a very different idea of what I do. And so there's just some ideas around it that just isn't true. And so for me, the first thing that scared me was, and I know that was the obstacle, was fear, was just committing and doing it, going for it. Another one was, this is something that I feel like a lot of spiritual people who want to do a similar business, whether it's tarot or Reiki or some other modality, is there's also this idea that we shouldn't charge for it. It's very much out there where people will say, well, if you could do this gift, why don't you do it for free? And believe me, I actually would if I didn't have to make a living and support my daughter. I am a single mother. So there was definitely some deconditioning around these ideas of it's okay that I charge for my service. I provide something that's very helpful and medicinal, and my energy is being put into it. And that's okay that, it's that energetic transaction because money is also energy. Right. So there was the fear, then knowing that it was okay that I was turning it into a business. And then I would even say boundaries, because, and I think that this speaks to several different businesses and service, friends and family to come out of the woodwork and want it for free because they know you. Right. Yeah. And having those boundaries of, this is still a business. I still, if you want to come to me for my services, absolutely, but I will charge you. So there were definitely some things that I had to work around and work through, not just around, but through, changing my mindset, opening up, abundance mentality, all of that, to get to a place where I finally felt comfortable showing up as, this is who I am, this is what I do. And through validation from other people I've worked with, I'm actually in the right place doing what I'm meant to be doing.
Amazing. You touched on a really, really important subject there about, people wanting things for free. I'll come to the others in a minute. But I've discovered, Sarah, I don't know about you, and I know people listening here have discovered that a business really is providing a solution to a problem that exists. The moment you find a solution to a problem and you're willing to take that solution to them, you are actually in business. That's one side of the equation. And when they pay for that, you are actually helping them to mix up the problem so that they get the solution, maybe well packaged in an easy consumable way. So you have to be compensated. I remember when I was starting out, there were certain things I would do for free, but now I even say, like, you can do it all by yourself and suffer a lot of emotional strain, miss out on other great opportunities that you could do, and go find out from scratch. Or I can give you a solution that is going to help you get closer to your goals faster. And the way you do that is you compensate a little bit my time, by doing that. And when I explain to people like that, you know what? They get it. It is a stumbling block for whenever we are starting out. And I know there may be some people who are starting out today, and it may be this project you're working on. It may be this business you're working on. Can I encourage you? Take time to really calculate how much time you put in. What is the solution you're providing? How much maybe say headache that you're saving somebody by providing the solution, and quantify that and make it available to people, because that's how we make the world go around there. Just put it out yourself out there. And then you talked about Sarah, you talked about the fear. Can you explain more exactly what was holding you back around the fear area?
I think it was honestly fear of judgment, fear of what people would think, especially people who aren't open-minded to at least learn about it. I will say, one of the things that I'm excited that I've started doing within my business in the last year is events. And I love events. I do weddings and bachelorette parties, and I just did the 60th birthday party, and I love it. And I think one of my favorite parts is I sit down. The majority of the people that come to my table have never had a reading before.
Like
and I get
me.
to show them, yes. And I get to show them what it is that I do. And I get a lot of people who will look at me funny and say, "You're not going to tell me I'm going to die, are you?"
Yes. Yeah.
Tell them, no, that's not what I do. I could tell you that even if I wanted to, but that's not where my focus is. I don't talk about the future. And so, so I get a lot of funny comments and a lot of people who are like, well, am I going to win the lottery? But then once they sit down with me and they see what it is, it's a whole journey. This is where you're coming from. This is where you're at. And this is where you're headed. And this is what higher self wants to know to help you get where you want to be, whether you like what's waiting or not, because that can always change. And it's just really cool to see the gears churning and see how people are more like, wow, this is so insightful. Well, one, I hear all the time, well, that's creepy, spot on. But I also felt like I took something from it that I didn't expect going in. Yeah. So in the beginning, it was a lot of fears of judgment. And what I had to work through to get to where I am now is just really step into my authenticity. Figure out who I am, who do I want to be. I'm not showing up in the world for other people. I'm showing up in service for other people. But for me personally, I don't have anyone else I have to answer to. If it aligns with me, if it lights me up, which reading tarot does, when I read for people, I feel like I'm right where I'm meant to be every single time without fail. And that is priceless.
Incredible. You know what? This happens to me. When I'm doing my podcast, I feel alive. When I started, it was like, oh, okay, nobody was doing it in 2015, but it lights me up. And now, a few years later, we're still doing it. So if it lights up, keep doing that. And I can feel it for many people. It may not be tarot reading, it may not be doing a podcast, or whatever it may be. Follow your intuition, follow your heart, and do that which that makes you. I love what you say there, that you are showing up for yourself. Of course, you're in service to other people. You're doing it for yourself. What a beautiful statement.
Yeah, I'm very excited that I was able to push through it. And actually, to your point, I really believe that when you find your purpose, and this is what I teach too, because I actually have a tarot card that whenever it comes up, I call it my purpose card. And I know their purpose is either in their life or going to be entering it very soon. And I tell them, it's your purpose when it lights you up. You could do it all day long for free if you could and had the means. And it gives back to the world in some way, whether it's through an act of service, or even a painter who paints beautiful artwork and then they go and they sell it. Someone buys it and puts it in their living room wall, and that inspires them every day. It can come in all sorts of different ways, but it's a combination of it lights you up. You could do it all day long if you could, and it gives back to the world too.
Good for you, Sarah. I admire how you've gone against all the sense of fear and just go on to live truly to who you are, what it means, what it lights you up. And I think a lot of people, including myself, can learn from you. What is it? I mean, you speak to Bill here. What is it that you feel called to do right now that you initially feel You can't do that because your friends, your family are going to be negative, or whoever you look up to, they're going to not like it. What is it that you truly want to do? Can I encourage you, like Sarah here, take some time out and write down. In fact, Sarah, let me come to you right away, right now. How did you actually overcome all that?
I would say, I mean, it's been a journey. It was not just one simple black and white
Yeah,
overnight, the butterfly, right? It was really, well, first of all, I wrote down my why, and I did
right.
keep coming to that. And that was a really great place to start. Why did I want to pursue this? What is it about my business that would make me push against my own fears and own uncomfortability, and keep going despite the fears of judgment, which I will say, and for being a tarot reader, which is already not mainstream or anything like that,
That's right.
I did not get as much judgment as I thought I would. In fact,
Yes.
most of the fear did not come true. It was really just the fear itself. And then the more I put myself out there, if I had people who didn't agree with me, they just didn't tell me. And that was fine with me because it helped me step more into who I was. So I will say that a lot of fears that people may be dealing with in stepping out and doing whatever they would like to pursue, likely the fear isn't even as big as you think it is. Um,
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree anymore. I hear this over and over and over again that what we fear oftentimes is we make it too huge in our heads, but in reality, it doesn't. So I'm glad that you point that out. My goodness, I wish a lot of people would get that, especially those who are starting out. Because we often compare ourselves with people who've been doing it for a long time and think, "Oh, I'll never be as good as they are. I'll never do that. I'm afraid I'm not that good." And who am I? And all that. The more you do that, the more you disqualify yourself from truly living life that you feel like you're called to. And I'm glad that, Sarah, you stepped out and you have found out for yourself that you can be who you want to be. You can do what you want to do, follow your heart, and really help people right where they are. And I think a lot of people can learn from that today.
I am proud of the journey like I said, it's been a journey, and just that one next right step forward and not staying stagnant. If I did get stagnant, it was okay, what's holding me back? And asking those questions.
Yeah, one of the things that you touched on there, Sarah, which I think it's important that we refer to it, is knowing your why. How has this truly helped you to stay the path of, in a business where not so many people know about it? For example, I don't know much about it, but I am curious, what was it in your why that made you keep on pushing?
My why was, honestly, it came back to being able to help people. And I knew that it was something that I was doing over and over again. Every time I'd sit with someone and I do a reading, and they'd walk away. And it was whenever really I'd sit with someone, and at the end of the reading, I would just get this feeling of I did something good. They walked away with more clarity, more understanding. And a lot of my readings, they come through as confirmation and validation. So I hear a lot of people say things like, you were just literally saying the thoughts that I have not spoken out loud, or this was exactly what I was worrying about inside my mind. Should I or shouldn't I? And now I know which one is the right one because, the reading that came through. So for me, my why was kind of coming back to what I said about purpose being what lights you up and gives back. My why was I love the feeling that I get when I step into this place of service and the fact that I can make such a difference. And coming back to that has helped me when I've felt like when I'm trying to market and I don't know if I'm doing it right, or if I'm any of the things that I get stuck on, I come back to my why. And that usually revitalizes me and gives me a different shift of perspective and helps me understand that, okay, I'm being hit up against this brick wall. There's a reason this isn't the right avenue for me. If I come back to my why, there's more avenues here that I was missing.
Amazing. Is there any way for you to share with everybody how you created your why?
I mean, remember I said that I had that intuition that said, go work on your business. I grabbed a pen and paper. I wrote down, my business name just came to me. It was Journey Through Tarot. And the first question that I asked was, why am I doing this? What's my mission statement? Is really, I think, I would say that if you're starting a business and it's something especially that you feel is your purpose, what specifically is it about what you're doing that lights you up? Like, what is it that lights you up? So that way it's not just, oh, it lights me up. Well, why does it light you up? What is it that it does within you? What do you feel? What are the feelings you get when you provide this service or you show up in this way? And then how does it show up in the world too? I would just say get specific, but focus on why you're doing it, like what lights you up, what brings you the joy that you're looking for in it, and how does it give back? What's the solution that it's causing for other people?
Incredible. Somebody once said to me, when your why is strong and big enough, the how becomes easy. When you know exactly what drives you and you're very clear on that, some of these things we are afraid of, becomes to fall away. You won't even pay attention to them. Sarah, one of the ways we build our whys here is creating what's known as 7 levels deep. So, for example, if you are saying, I want to start a business today, ask yourself, why do I want to start a business? Maybe the answer could be, oh, I want to provide for my family. That's number 1. And then you ask yourself, why do I want to provide my family? You go on the 3rd level, which would be, oh, it's an honorable thing to do. And then you ask your question, why is it an honorable thing to do? Because I really feel like I should be doing it. So when you keep asking why after another why, if you ask 7 whys, by the time you get there, sometimes even go further, you come to a place where you say, it is me, it's who I am. It truly is incredible. Once you get there, you would have become so strong. And I'm so confident that you, Sarah, have done that. And for those who are looking to create their why and know what is driving them when you do these exercises, you're going to find much, much easier. We call it the 7-level deep why. So, just write it down. In fact, if you want one of that, just ask in the community. We'll be able to give you a template for that. Sarah, let's talk about the validation aspect, because one of the things that you mentioned, which is incredible, you said the more you did it, the more you helped people, you get the validation. In fact, I went on your Google reviews. You've got tremendous reviews there. It did something for you. Talk to us about what it did for you.
Well, when it comes to reading tarot, like I said, I have been reading for many years. So for myself, I understood my messages very clearly. The idea of taking that and turning it into reading for somebody else was terrifying for me, because I didn't want to give out misinformation. I didn't want to be inauthentic. I didn't want to I just didn't want to do a disservice. And so when I very first started, it was actually before I even went live with my business. I did a small social media post and just asked for a few people to volunteer and let me just do a quick reading for them. And I was so just blown away. That was kind of the starting point, was, okay, maybe there's something here. Not only did I get a lot of great feedback of, and these were people that I didn't know very well. They were on my friends list, but no one that I knew very well personally. And I was getting people just saying, like, oh my gosh, you touched on things that you couldn't have known about, and you were so spot on, and this was great. I actually had people saying, what is your Venmo? I'd like to send you $20, or I'd like to send you this just for this little reading you did. And that was my first, like, oh my gosh, I really made a difference with these little, I don't know what you'd call it, like an audition, but, with a little sampling. And so that's when I went live. And the more I received that feedback from the people that I would read for, the more I knew I was doing the right thing. It was at that point like following breadcrumbs, but it just helped build my confidence. It helped me know that I do have a gift here, and there is something medicinal and helpful. And there's guidance that people just, they just need to be shown the light on the path they're on to know which way they're going. And I was able to start seeing how I was doing that for people over and over and over, which was incredibly validating for me because I was second guessing myself the entire step of the way I was going.
Yeah, amazing. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. It's very helpful. One of the things that you and I believe very strongly is the abundance mindset, in running a business. Uh, Share with everybody, what that means to you, having an abundance mindset when running a business.
Well, when you have an abundance mindset, you're actually energetically making space for things to come in. When
Right.
you are living in lack mentality, that's when you're usually feeling so scared of letting anything go that you're not letting anything in either. So for me, abundance mindset is so important because it gives you the possibility. It lets you know that you, well, for me, from a spiritual standpoint, the abundance mentality is like you're putting trust in something bigger than yourself and knowing that things are going to come and go as they need to, that's making space for the bigger things that come through. But it's that possibility. It's that, okay, things can happen for me. This business can be successful. I believe in that. And when you do, doors open. When you're scared, you're not seeing the doors that are available. And so that's kind of the difference between lack mentality and abundance.
Love that. I am a firm believer that there is more than enough to go around. There's more than enough for everybody. There's more than enough clients to serve. Whatever business you are in, there's more than enough for you. Just learn what you need to learn, become very good, work on yourself. As Jim Rohn said, work hard on yourself and you work on everything else. When you do that and become aware of the abundance, when I did an exercise about abundance, I started looking at the nature. When you look at nature, there is abundance of everything. Really, if you look at the trees, if you look at when this beautiful planet flowers was created, there was always more than enough. There's always more than enough. And as a business owners, I think it's imperative that we have the mindset of having there's more than enough. If you're not getting it, it doesn't mean that there isn't out there. It means that your system or your mind or your processes is not yet geared to accept more of that. I think it's a great place to start. Sarah, you have been wonderful. And I know that there will be people who want to explore working with you. Where can they find you?
My website is www.journeythroughtarot. And I'm also on Instagram. I'm probably on there as far as content the most. And my handle is @journeythroughtarot. And that's the
incredible.
best.
Yes, we will also put that link below this recording for easy access as well. And if you need anything, reach out to Sarah Tai to get those questions answered. Look, I'm a great believer that our minds work great when they are open. As somebody once said, they're like umbrellas that works great when it's open rather than when it's closed. So I encourage you to open your mind and be open to, learning what is out there and discover how other people are living their lives. As long as it aligns with your beliefs and with where you're going, you're onto a great journey. Sarah, once again, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Incredible. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to know more about the subject we'll be talking about, click the link below. Or if you've got any other questions, reach out to Sarah, reach out to my team, or reach out to me. Would love to help you. The reason we create these episodes is so that you can see yourself in the lives of other people. Because if they can succeed, the truth is you too can succeed in whatever you're trying to achieve. Until next time, live well, live with passion, know that the best is yet to come. And don't forget, our book, 8 Qualities for Great Leadership, is out. You can get it from Amazon or any major outlets. You will be able to read that. We want you to read that if you can and learn what other great leaders have to say about how to become a great leader today and tomorrow. Until next time, once again, live well, live with passion. Know that the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. Thank you for tuning in to Yokai Business Show. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode and have gained valuable insights and inspiration from our amazing guest. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review to help us spread the word. Also, be sure to check out our Leadership Ultimate Success Mastermind program, which is designed to help you and leaders in our community to do great things and support each other along their leadership journey. Until next time, live well, live with passion, know that the best is truly yet to come.